Shelter Mortgage, flexibility, professionalism, and service. Let us custom build a mortgage for you.
Hello, Prudential Sales Executives, for our video message of the week. All right, this week's message is entitled, Always Be Closings. You've probably heard it, the ABCs of selling. All right, I have 4 main tips for you today that I want to talk about to help you and really make you a more effective closer. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, I want you to ask questions that you already know you're going to get a yes response to. All right, what does that do? That kind of gets the yes juices going. You get more comfortable, they get more comfortable saying yes as you go through it. Let me give you an example. You'd like to maximize your equity in this property, correct? Yes. Obvious answer, they're going to say yes to that. Let's say they've told you that they're moving at a certain time, okay? You can say now, just to reaffirm, you're moving in July. You need to be moved in July, correct? Yes, we have to move in July. Great. These are just examples. When you get those yeses going, get a lot of those small yeses going, gets you more comfortable, gets them more comfortable. Okay, next, I want you to be assumptive in your questions. Say, what do I mean by this? Let me give you an example here. You know what? Can you share with me all the key upgrades that you have in the property? I don't want you to miss any because I want to make sure that they go into all my marketing, all my advertising, okay, the flyer that I'm going to create, whatever the case may be in your particular situation. Do you see that? Again, can you give me all the upgrades that you have in the home? Because I want to make sure that they get into my marketing and my flyer. What are you doing? Well, I'm assuming I've got the listing because you certainly wouldn't put the marketing in there if they're not marketing with you going forward, all right? So you make that assumptive close. Let me give you another one. Now let me ask you a question, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Would you prefer an open house on Saturday or is Sunday better for you? Oh, okay, Saturdays? Great. Does 1 to 4 work for you? Great. Let me make a note of that. And make sure to make those notes. Write every time they answer those questions with a yes, make those notes. Write on the paperwork. Now, you're comfortable writing on the paperwork. You are asking these assumptive questions that if they're answering those questions, they must be going with you, all right? So you move them through the process. Next, I want you to assume every client that you or every potential client that you're working with is going to say yes to you. I just want you to go in there. Basically like this. I want you to present yourself like it's a laydown referral. Like someone called you up and said, hey, you know what, come list my house for sale. All right? You'd be very relaxed because they called you. Well, what's really changed? Just the mindset when you're sitting in front of those individuals. One bit of advice with that, you don't want to skip steps many times, even with the referral. But that's another video. But for this one right now is I want you to present like there's always going to be a yes and it's a laydown. It'll make you more comfortable. And truthfully, you'll get more laydowns doing it. Now in that same vein, remember, don't forget to ask for the order. Okay? Sometimes we go through it and you're doing your presentation and you never really asked for the order. All right, I need you to sign here. I'm excited to get the property marketed for sale. You got to ask for that order. You know, one other tip that I'd like to give along that same line is close like a child. You heard me. I said close like a child. What do I mean by that? I mean never-ending consistency. We know how children do it. They get focused on what they want and they ask and they ask and they ask and they ask until they get it. Even if you have a situation where you don't get it on that first presentation, stay up with them very consistently, okay, and continue to ask that positive closing question and you'll get more business. Last point on this, don't forget why you're there. Don't forget, when you're in front of a buyer or seller, don't forget why you're there. It's to get the contract signed, buyer broker agreement signed, whatever the case may be, is if you're using it for a purchaser. Now remember, we all want to help the clients we work with. But in many cases, we can't help them until we're representing them in a listing or a sale, okay? So keep in mind why you're there. I want the opportunity to help them by getting it locked down so I'm representing them. And confident sales executives believe in what they're offering to the public. When you're confident, okay, and you believe in what you're offering to your potential clients or the clients that you're working with, things go smoother and you close much more effectively. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.